What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Merry Christmas Eve to everybody out there who's watching this right now. Welcome back to the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast, the Dun's favorite edition. It's your boy the Dun. I'm here with the hometown supporter, Rashad. What's good, man?
Man, what's going on, man? You know me as usual. Let's here to talk some Falcons football and possibly a new era of Falcons football. Let's get to it.
Man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I ain't had no intentions of doing no show today. I'm definitely ain't
Uh,
doing it tomorrow. I know I'm holding to my word. I'm definitely not doing anything tomorrow. But
yeah,
hey, I felt we researched a couple of days ago, and I put out a tweet on this as well. I don't know if anybody following me on Twitter. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter at the man called Don. I had put out a tweet with pictures of Matt Ryan wristband, and it was very compelling to me because I knew. Oh, off my computer. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I found something compelling the other day about Matt Ryan's wristband. Now, I knew this, okay, for a good minute that Mike Mularkey allowed Matt Ryan to have more autonomy with the play calling back then. All right, we moved away from that when he left in 2011 after that 2011 season, and we brought in Dirk, and Dirk was here for a few years, and then everybody got fired, and then we hired Kyle Shanahan. Same thing, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, everybody knows that Kyle Shanahan does not allow any of his quarterbacks to have any power over the play call. Same thing with Sark, and then now we had Dirk Cutter again. What's your thoughts on this topic, Rashad? Before we dig a little deeper into the show.
well, I'm glad you brought that to our attention because the one thing I've realized, matter of fact, let me take that back. I mean, when when Mike Mularkey was the offensive coordinator, when Matt Ryan had just came to Atlanta in 2008, he gave Matt like so much autonomy in the offense, man. Because if anybody really paid attention throughout Matt's 13-year career, he's only had a quarterback wristband only 3 years out of his 13-year career.
Mm-hmm.
Again, going back to Mike Mularkey, he allowed Matt Ryan to have autonomy in the offense. That means if Matt wanted to change plays, if he saw something that he liked, he'd change it. When we got rid of Mike Mularkey in 2011, yeah, after 2011, then we brought in Dirk Cutter. Dirk kind of took away some of those, he pretty much took away some of that away from Matt. And let's be honest, he did have success with Dirk Cutter the first year here when Dirk Cutter came to Atlanta. But then as years went on, you started seeing more and more opportunities, or let's just say certain benefits stripped away from Matt. And then now, what we see now going on right now is like, come on, man, you're not giving Matt anything. You're not allowing him to run the ball. You're just chucking the football all over the place because essentially this is a 95% passing offense. I mean, throughout the season, when have we ran the ball effectively? When? I mean, come on, going back to this game with Tampa Bay. You mean to tell me you only gave Todd Gurley 1 carry? You gave Edo Smith 6 carries? Come on now. But that's just a perfect example of what's culminated this entire season. We don't want to run the ball because we all know when you run the ball, you set up everything. You set up your entire playbook. When you run the ball, you open up your playbook. You can do whatever you want. When you don't run the ball, what's going to happen? The other team sees that. Oh, okay, y'all not going to run the football? Well, we're just going to pin our ears back and we're going to blitz you. We're going to rush the quarterback. And it's going to be a long day at the office.
Here's the thing, man. And this is what I've been saying. And I remember in 2000, in 2019 offseason, they said we were bringing back both Dirk and Mike Mularkey. And I said, you know what? We need to bring Mike Mularkey. We need to have Mike Mularkey as OC. Have them be co-offensive coordinators because, teams, they have that. And have Mike Mularkey have more autonomy over the play call and the Dirk, like different down situations. You know how we had it, let's break this down. 2019, the second part of that season, when Dan Quinn was relieved of calling the defense, he focused more on being the head coach. Okay, you had Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulrich. They was both co-defensive coordinators. Jeff Ulrich, he was the first down. He was in charge of the first down and first and short situations, and Raheem Morris was the second and long and third down, responsibilities in that situation. They should have had it somewhere similar like that. First downs and second and shorts, you had Mike Mularkey. Then anything out of that, if it's second and long or third and long, then you had Dirk Cutter. That's what they should have had in my opinion. But they didn't do that. And I remember I said that's the same thing I said now. I said back then. People was ridiculing me saying, "Oh, well, you need to go back and look at that 2017, 2011 NFC wildcard game against the New York Giants." I'm like, okay. People act like ladies and gentlemen, teams are destined to win rings in a season. When you have a dominant defense like the Giants had that year, no one was stopping them. No one. They ran through every single team that year to win their second Lombardi trophy within the span of 4 years. All right?
I mean, let's be honest, man. I mean, when you go back to that 2011 wildcard game against the Giants, man, we weren't going to beat them, man. Especially when you had such a run game with Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs, man. Come on now. You weren't stopping that. Especially with that defense that time where you had both Justin Tuck, you had JPP. I mean, you had OC. I mean, sometimes, man, when it's your year, it's your year. And 2011 was the Giants' year.
Look at the teams that they beat in the playoffs. They beat us. All right, we were just pretty much embarrassed. All right. Then they went to Green Bay in Lambeau Field, freezing cold, below freezing. Beat the 15-1 Green Bay Packers. Doggone unanimous MVP Aaron Rodgers. All right. Then they went to San Francisco in the NFC Championship game, who were the favorites to go to a Super Bowl because everybody picked the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl that year. Guess what? Guess what? Giants derailed them of that, and then they went back to the Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady again.
I mean, that was just their year, man. I mean, think about it. That 49ers defense, man, I could say from 2011 to 2013, man. Come on now. That defense had 6 Pro Bowlers on it, man. 6. Exactly. I mean, Navario Bowman, Patrick Willis, you had Cowboy, you had Aldon Smith. When I say Cowboy, Justin Smith. I mean, you that secondary was stacked. Dante Whitner, Chris Culliver, Deshaun Goldson, you had them all, man. I mean, it was like a defensive coordinator's dream. And as we all know, Victor Fangio was the defensive coordinator. Just overall, that was the Giants' year, man. And I know a lot of people like to rag on Matt Ryan about that, but okay, what was you going to do? What was Matt Ryan going to do? What was Julio going to do? I mean, at the end of the day, the Giants did what they had to do. They came, they saw, and they conquered.
Well, I want to go back on this topic. Everybody keeps saying, well, Matt Ryan, he can audible out the plays and do all this other stuff. Guys, you can't do that in certain offenses. All right?
In the Shanahan offense, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Kyle Shanahan's offense, like Dirk, it all depends on the rhythm of the game. All right? If you in a 2-minute drill, then yeah, you have the responsibility to make audible because you're going to have that same personnel on the field. You have the same personnel on the field. You know what audibles you can call. You know what plays you can change out of. It's all about who you have on the field. Sometimes you can get a 2 tight end set. Sometimes you can have 3 wide receivers out there. Sometimes you can be in an I formation. It all depends on the personnel, ladies and gentlemen. All right. If you had an audible for a 3 wide receiver set and you in the I formation, like that ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why we try to tell you guys it's easier said than done. It's not like we tell you guys when we tell y'all it's not this is not Madden, y'all be thinking that we trying to clown y'all. No, we've been dead serious. It ain't trying to show y'all intelligence or anything like that. That's just how football works.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you just said, we're not trying to insult anybody. We're not trying to put anybody down. But what the fans have to understand, like audibling is basically due to the person that you have to fill at that given time. And the reason why we say that is because Matt LaFleur, who was our former quarterbacks coach, now the current head coach for the Green Bay Packers, said the same thing. I mean, because he said himself, I run the same offense that Kyle Shanahan runs, and we don't give our quarterbacks full control of the offense because that is exactly how the offense is set up. We don't allow our quarterbacks to just audible out of this and audible out of that. It's like when the play comes in, they gotta run that play.
Exactly. Now, it was good everybody joining us live, man. I'm always ignoring you guys. What's good, King, Wallace, Ocean Shadow, he said give Matt Ryan the defense. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Oh,
we've been talking about that for a while, man. We've been talking about defense. Um Speed Falcons for life was good, man. He said give Matt Ryan the OC defense and run game. So I got some pictures I need to show you guys. And like I said, I put this on my Twitter account. This picture right here was from 2009. Let me take this comment off real quick. That's a 2009. If you look closely at Matt Ryan's left arm, all right, left forearm, you see that is a playbook. All right. Now most of those wristbands, it's not the entire playbook for the OC. They only allow them to have probably what
40.
20 to 40 plays on there. Sometimes 60. It all depends on how it all depends on how much the OC wants to give his quarterback to run with. That was 2009. Who was the OC then? Mike Mularkey. This next picture, Exhibit B. This is for 2013. You look closely at both of Matt Ryan's forearms, you do not see a playbook on neither of his forearms. All right. I know somebody gonna say, "Well, it's the right one." No, it's not the right one because his right forearm has the playbook. No, it's not because Matt Ryan is right-handed. If you're right-handed, the playbook, the wristband playbook will be on your left forearm, not on your right forearm. And here's 2015. Yes, this is 2015, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you look closely at the left shoulder plate or whatever, you see that 50 year logo for the Atlanta Falcons. That was our 50-year anniversary in 2015. And who was our OC then? It was Kyle Shanahan. You do not see a wrist band playbook on neither of Matt Ryan's forearms. I did not do Steve Sarkisian because we ran the same thing Kyle Shanahan did under Steve Sarkisian. So my point that I'm making is whoever we bring in as an OC, they need to allow Matt Ryan to have more autonomy with the play calling. Get this man a wrist band playbook. Josh Allen has one. Another quarterback that has one is let's see. I'll give everybody credit. Pat Mahomes, he have one.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people gonna sit here and say Eric Bieniemy, but whatever. All right. And I believe Ryan Tannehill has one out there in Tennessee. So Arthur Smith is allowing his quarterbacks as well to call plays. Merry Christmas, JF, man. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat as well. Merry Christmas to you too, Knight. Wallace said most fans don't understand about the game. Yeah, they really don't. So, going back to what we talking about. When we talking about the coaching staff and when we talking about who we want here in Atlanta, and I know I've been sounding like a broken record. I'm just be honest with you, I'm ready for this month because I'm tired of talking about this topic because everybody is all up in arms. Everybody like it's like a civil war on social media of who they want, and you bring up one name, folks want to ridicule you, folks want to sit here and slander you, and say you stupid or whatever. Like, okay, I look. I've done coach scouting reports on multiple people. I haven't just focused on one person. So it can be anybody. Hell, all we know, they could be bringing back Mike Smith.
Oh God. Ooh.
I'm just look.
Ooh. Oh no.
I
No.
know, but here's the thing: we don't know what the team's gonna do. We don't
Well, I
know.
mean, that's
Only thing we know is they putting more emphasis on the GM than the head coach. They want to hire the GM first to
yeah.
see what identity we really want to run. Because that the identity we had, it didn't mesh well. We hired Thomas Dimitroff, who was more finesse, offensive juggernaut philosophy, and then we brought in defensive guys. That didn't mesh well. So I feel like they want to bring in the GM first, and then see who we want, who we want as a head coach. Now I'm hearing a lot of reports right now about Rick Smith. He used to be the GM for the Texans. Um, that's not a good one, but it's not a bad one. I think that's okay for the most part. It's more of a safe hire. But my thing is about it is he hit on most of his first round draft picks. But what about the day 2, day 3 draft picks? That's what I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
King said Rex Ryan, please. Yeah, this is what I've been talking about. I would love to get a Rex Ryan. I love to get Don Martindale. Those are guys we need.
I mean, because the biggest issue on this team, and a lot of people love to say, "Oh, we need a." As I'm looking at the chat right now, I see David M talking about, well, we need to get ahead of this rebuild and draft one of these potential quarterbacks. And I'm like, I would like to tell David M, like, come on, bro. At the end of the day, I understand people's um, feelings about Matt Ryan, but bro, everybody knows the biggest issue is the defense. It has always been the defense. What's good? What I mean, people need to say this to themselves. What good is drafting another quarterback if your biggest issue is your defense? If your defense is bad, if your defense is so bad to the point where you're just going to rely on that new quarterback, you're going to put all that pressure on that new quarterback to score all these points and put points on the board and so on and so on. And then when he don't get the job done, the same crap that y'all giving Matt Ryan, y'all gonna give that same crap to that new quarterback.
And you
Come
got to
on now.
think about this too. If you drafting a court, who is going to be here to develop this guy for one? And is this quarterback is going to give us the same or better production than Matt Ryan?
Yeah,
I know
because
everybody keep talking about Zach Wilson, but yes, I seen the game he played in, and he did look good. But we see quarterbacks who play in college and then come to the NFL and play like crap.
yeah, because sometimes what you do in college doesn't always translate to the professional ranks, man. We don't see plenty of quarterbacks come through college. Everybody tells them they're going to be a sure thing, and then when they go to the professional ranks, it's a different animal, man. And the way I look at it is like, why would I want to put that pressure on a rookie quarterback? Why would I do that? Especially when I don't have a defense that's going to help him. I don't have a run game. I mean, you're pretty much putting You're putting your quarterback, supposed rookie quarterback, in no man's land. So I'm not going to put that pressure on him. I'm not going to do that to him. You know,
Exactly.
the thing is that what we got right now, the situation that the Falcons have at this point in time, is that you have to bring in a coach that knows how to develop talent. You got to bring in a coaching staff that knows how to also evaluate that talent.
Richard. I gotta mention something. David said, "Here's what I understand. It's time to get ahead of this rebuild. Draft one of these potential franchise quarterbacks." Look, man, we are not in rebuild mode.
We're
The
not a
salary
rebuild.
cap, how the way the salary cap is set up right now, it will be difficult to rebuild. Rebuild normally takes 3 to 5 years. If
And
we get rid of Matt Ryan, the Julio Jones right now, and other pieces on the team, we're going to be rebuilding longer than 5 years.
hmm and the way these fans act, they ain't trying to wait three
Y'all
to
are not patient. A
they're
lot
not
of
gonna wait three
fans,
to
I'm not even talking about Falcons fans, but a lot of fans, we're not patient.
hmm.
We lose one game, y'all ready to blow up the whole team. Y'all want to fire everybody.
Yeah,
Fire the coach,
and
fire
that
the
makes
GM.
sense.
Big on Arthur Blank to sell the team to somebody else. Like, I'm telling you guys, we are not a bad team. The personnel that's on the team is not bad. Do we need better players in certain positions? Yes, we do. But overall, the team is not a bad team. It's just
Mm-mm.
poorly coached.
hmm And what
It's
we've
poor.
always said about when it comes to the coaching, coaching
Players
lies
can't
in
escape bad coaching.
oh yeah,
Players cannot escape bad coaching. And
yeah,
we've been saying this. It's not the players, it's the coaching. Look at how the defense played for one quarter. Not one quarter, one half last week. We played well. And then the second half, we just forgot how to play football.
yeah.
You don't forget how to play football, you guys. It's just the scheme was changed. They made dumb bonehead adjustments on defense, which allowed Tampa Bay to score on every drive they had in the second quarter, in the second half.
5 possessions, 5 scoring possessions. I mean, come on now, like
That's coaching.
I
That's
mean,
not players. That's coaching.
because I've never heard of a team that gives up 31 points in a quarter. 31 points. Come on now. And if anybody that knows football, like they say they do, they would go back and look at the game 2 or 3 times instead of just looking at it one time and going by their emotions. What I look at it, when you go back to looking at the game, and one thing I tell people all the time, take your emotions out of it. Please do. It's like that's the number one rule in business. You leave
They,
emotion at
they
the
can't.
door.
They can't though. That's the thing, man.
But I mean, but hear me out when I say that. Sometimes you have to leave emotion at the door. You have to. What I see when I look at that game, I see a defense that when we're in zone coverage, you're in a zone scheme with man personnel, and you got the DBs 6, 7 yards away from the receiver, and people think you're going to win. Hell no. I, why am I going to put my defense in such a bad position? I'm going to have my guys 6 to 7 yards away from the receiver. You know what that quarterback's going to do? Okay, we just going to throw the ball down the flat. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do whatever we want because you have your DBs so far away from the receiver that it's like the quarterback's looking at it like, okay, I'm going to have a field day today. Yes, sir.
All right, David just sent another one. He said, "I am a Matt Ryan guy, dude. The Falcons have no money to build a serious defense. This is what smart organizations do. The team, as presently constructed, is not winning anything or of significance. All right, let me lay the pipe bomb on you, okay? And not just you, David. I'm not singling you out. And there's other people who have the same thought process as you do as well. Y'all are more fixated on free agency. Okay,
Mm,
yes, I understand. We're not going to be able to sign anybody here. But you know what we can do? You bring in a GM, you bring in a great scouting staff, and you build through the draft. You build through the draft. We've seen teams do this all the time. They
man.
draft these guys. Look at the Vikings. The Vikings draft like they be hitting on their fourth, fifth, sixth round picks.
Look at the Steelers, the Ravens. I mean, come on now. I
All
mean,
these teams,
I
yes.
mean, I mean, Joe Horowitz, who is the current director of player personnel, because of him, Ozzy, and Derek DeCosta, they've hit on at least 60% of their draft picks. 60%. I ain't seen another organization make that happen. Come on
When
now.
you hit on those draft picks, man, you ain't gotta worry about free agency.
I'm not
Other
worried
than
about
you just like if you in like you ain't gotta worry about free agency unless it's like it's week 10 or something like that, or before the trade deadline, and you looking real good. You like 6-0 or 5-1, and you got space in your cap. You can probably execute a trade and get somebody just to get you over that hump so you can get into the playoffs and make a good run. That's what I'm saying. Like we build through the draft. We never done that before. We may have a few good picks here and there. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, 2016 was a good draft." Okay, yeah, we got Keanu Neal, we got Deion Jones, and then we got Austin Hooper. Who else we had on that team? Hooper's gone. We don't know what's gonna happen with Keanu Neal. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pay this man or not. We may end up having this man walking free agents. It can happen.
hmm And we got a lot of guys on the defense with like 1 year deals. Like, we had Denard on a 1 year deal, Means on a 1 year deal. We got a lot of guys, you know.
What do you mean? You think the new regime thinks differently than I do? Like, I tell me how I'm thinking irrational. So you pretty much said I'm thinking irrational. How am I thinking irrational? He said free agents are far from my mind. It's all about building through the draft. This is my entire point. We've been saying this. Haven't I been saying this, Rashad?
Yeah.
I've been
I
saying
mean,
that we need to build through the draft. Which other way?
I mean,
Which other way we going to build?
well, because here's the issue, man, about that.
But you
The,
got to,
just
David.
like,
David, I know we got 50 million tied up in two players. You're not going to be able to get rid of these guys. You
uh-uh,
want to eat up 70 plus mil in dead cap.
in their money.
That means we're going to be in negative. You're not going to be able to bring in anybody. You barely going to how. And then that's another question. How are we going to sign our draft picks?
Because as of right now, currently, the Falcons are, I think minus 27 million projected in
Yeah,
the 2021 salary cap right now. We're about minus 27 million. And then if you were to trade or, cut Matt Ryan, come on now. Come on now. Next year, y'all want to take nearly, for Matt Ryan, you want to take almost $50 million in dead money? Oh, I think, nah, I ain't doing that. And think about it. The Falcons ain't eating that money. I wouldn't. That,
this is
that
why when we go into this offseason, we're going to be restructuring a lot of people who are on these multi-year deals to make space. Then these first year players, well, not the first year players, the players that's on these 1 year deals, most of them are going to be gone. Most of these guys are going to be gone because you're not going to be able to afford them. So you're going to have to draft. You're going to have to pretty much hit on every draft pick. And we got players like Kaminsky, Davidson, and all those guys. Those guys going to have to step up in 2021 because who are we signing? We got guys like Dante Fowler on the deal that we should have never gave money to, but guess what? We got to
hey,
play them.
you
We
got to
got to
bite
play
that
them next
bullet,
year.
man. I mean, you're talking for Dante Fowler. You're talking about 3 years, $45 million, and didn't get hasn't got, we haven't got much of anything from Dante Fowler on that, man. And
Yeah.
that kind of goes back to our former general manager who always used to overpay players to come to Atlanta. I mean, if we want to go down that rabbit hole, I mean, when we talk about the defense, man, when we talk about the draft picks that we've gotten on defense over the years, I mean, come on now, from '08 till right now before he was let go, we've only had two guys during that span, during that entire span that have been actually good. And that was Corey Peters and Grady Jarrett. Everybody else flamed out. Now,
Mm-hmm.
let me take that back. You had Vance Walker, but he didn't do anything until he went to Denver. He went to Denver, got with the right coaching, got with the right organization, and what happened? He won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 50. I tell people all the time, it's all about coaching, man. It's all about the culture. If you don't have the right culture, the right coaching, the people in the scouting department that know how to scout and evaluate talent, and then you have the coaching staff that takes that talent and groom it and develop it and put these guys in position to win, you ain't winning. That's been our problem here in Atlanta, man. We've had people in here that don't know how to scout and evaluate talent. We haven't had the coaching staff that knew how to take that talent, groom it, and develop it, and make an impact for our football team, man. Well, when I tell people about when it comes to our defense, when's the last time we had somebody on our defense that had the same impact as Julio Jones? Not near a Falcon fan can give me that. They can't even give me a name. Now they could say, well, we got Grady, we got Debo, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, okay, if you take those guys away, who else? Before those guys were even drafted, who else can you tell me made an impact just like Julio Jones makes an impact on offense?
They don't, man. That's the
Nobody.
thing. And I got a question right here. Speed Falcons for life. He said, y'all think we should trade Julio for picks and rebuild the defense? You can't trade him right now, man. You trade him, you're going to use some dead cap as well. We just got to look, keep what we have for now. I don't think you have an out for him to after, I think, 2022. We make a trade him after that season, and then you can get some picks to defense. Like I said, we have good players on defense. It's just the issue with his pass rush.
Yeah.
And
And
I
that's
and I and I really feel that Isaiah Oliver is not a bad player. I just feel like he's in the wrong. We've been playing him the wrong way, just like Sheffield and all these other guys. These are man coverage DBs, and we having them play zone. That's why they look. That's why they look like trash.
they look
If you
out of
bring
place.
somebody in and they play to their strengths, these guys are going to look so much better. You seen it in the first half last week with Isaiah Oliver and Kendall Sheffield. They played so well. And the Travis said, "What's Miller?" Travis said, "Why people still talking about rebuilding?" I don't know, man. You keep them, and David said, "You keep them for one more year and do what you have to do for the remaining 2 years." I never said cut Matt Ryan. Restructuring is what killed the team in the first place. Hey, man, I know you're not saying cut Matt Ryan, but I'm not mentioning cut, trade, or releasing or waiving Matt Ryan to after 2022.
But you say 2023 at the most too. I mean,
Yeah.
because people gotta understand, man. It depends on who the coach will be. Because if the coach can bring in the right people, the right OC, the right defensive coordinator, and let's just say again, Matt Ryan has a crazy year like he did in 2016 and 2018, which a lot of people don't like to bring up. He had a quote unquote MVP year that year, but what happened? The team was garbage. No defense, not much of a run game, not much at all. And that goes back to coaching, man. I mean, come on now. Anybody's in the chat, man. Come on now. Really think about this. What has been our biggest problem, man? What has been
Not
this
building
team's
the
biggest problem?
defense.
Not building a defense, not having the right coaching. I mean, come on, Dan Quinn. When Dan Quinn was here, think about it. Between 2017 and 2019, especially 2018, this defense was giving up 31 points a game. 31 points a game. 2017, as much as a lot of people like
Let's
to
not.
talk about that, I mean, as much as people like to talk about that 2017 defense, come on now.
That
That
was
20
not top 10. Top
that,
10. A top 10 defense is not
that
going to give up
defense
that
was
many
horrible,
yards,
man.
especially on the ground. Because
Oh,
we were we were, I think, somewhere, I think we was ranked like 19th in defense that year. But I think in run defense, we was ranked like 26th or 27th. I
you
got to go
did.
back and look.
It's a.
Uh,
I mean, when
but
you
yeah,
go back to it, man, like that 2017 defense was terrible. As much, I mean, throughout the entire year, it was terrible. People only saying that was a top 10 unit because we got into the playoffs and we made a few plays. But when you look at the totality and the body of work, that defense was terrible because you can't tell me that's a top 10 unit and you're allowing the other team to hold on to the ball for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You're letting
They
them
were
hold on
running.
to the ball time of possession. Like if
They
you don't
learned
control,
from look that 2017 season, man. Those teams they learned from the Super Bowl that we just lost. And they
yeah,
said, okay, we're gonna do what the Patriots did. We're just gonna run clock.
yeah,
We're gonna run the ball and keep Matt Ryan and their offense on the sideline.
yeah.
That's what they did. That's what most teams did.
I mean, look at better yet.
And our defense couldn't even stop it.
Oh yeah, better yet. Look, not just that, but also look at turnovers. You ain't no top 10. You're not a top 10 unit if you're in the negative in turnovers. Why do people think that the New Orleans Saints won their Super Bowl? They were plus 20 in the turnover differential.
They had an average defense. Their
Plus
defense
20.
wasn't top 10, but they was like average. I think they was like 14th or 15th in the league.
Yeah.
But it was like I think top 5 in turnover, getting turnovers. That's damn good, you know. David said, "Here's my point, and I'm out. You get the young quarterback on the roster when you can. Let him sit for a year or two. Here's my thing, you guys, and I said this last night. Why are we so fixated on drafting a quarterback in this upcoming year's draft? Y'all acting like there's not gonna be any more quarterbacks coming out of the draft in the next upcoming years. There's always gonna be quarterbacks coming out. I understand people say, well, this gonna be the only last time we gonna be picking it early in the draft. Man, you know how many quarterbacks that was picked in the later round? Not later rounds, in the like late in the first round or middle of the first round. Look at Ben Roethlisberger.
Shoot.
Look
I
at
mean,
doggone Aaron Rodgers.
Russell Wilson, he was picked in the
Russell
third.
Wilson was picked third.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's like,
Like Flacco. I know Flacco ain't no good quarterback, but hell, he was serviceable enough for Baltimore for them to win the Super Bowl in 2012. He was picked in the second round. Drew Brees. Drew Brees was picked in the second round.
funny how people forget about that.
Tom Brady was picked in the sixth round. Like y'all gotta stop acting like it's the end of the world if we do not pick a quarterback at the spot we gonna land at in 2021's draft. There's always gonna be quarterbacks. Always gonna be quarterbacks coming out of the draft. I'm gonna
Oh,
be hyped over somebody else next year. Oh man, we need to draft this person. Every year,
mm.
oh man, we need to draft this person. I
People
don't
always
believe in that. Like, I'm not
like,
gonna have a quarterback sit for 2 years. That's too much money we paying somebody just to sit on the bench. We can be using that pick to get a playmaker, a potential playmaker on defense.
and that's the thing about it, man. It's just that I'm not gonna have a quarterback that I just drafted sit on the bench. I'm not gonna pay this man $20 million to sit on the ride the pine. I'm not doing that. I mean, then again, what you just said, when you look at some of the quarterbacks that are going to be coming out in the next, I say maybe 4 to 5 years. I mean, you got the kid Brock Vandagriff that just committed to Georgia. You got Arch Manning coming out in a few years. I mean, you got a lot of these quarterbacks that have potential that are coming out. It's just the biggest issue is the defense. It's the defense.
And Speed
Well,
Falcons for life, I get what you're saying. Our secondary is 31st in the league, but that's the problem. When you don't have a pass rush, it's going to make your secondary look horrible, and especially the type of scheme that you're running. The scheme we running the cover three. And with a cover three, you have to have a dominant pass rush. We don't have that. So I don't even know why we've been playing it from the get go. Wallace said another thing we never have drafted a first player on defense that panned out like Julio did on offense. You're right about that.
exactly, man.
It's since Deion Sanders back in the day, but that was doggone over what 20 years ago. Well, 30 years ago. I'm sorry. I'm showing my age now. Yeah, 30 years ago. So that's the thing. When you don't invest and you scout your talent wisely, you're gonna end up getting a Peter Kuntz or doggone Pierre Jerry, guys like that. Instead of you getting Clay Matthews. It goes back to the GM and the scouting department that we had.
Mhm. I mean, when you go back to that draft, man, I mean, to take Pierre Jerry, over Clay Matthews, man, that was just such a cardinal sin, man. I mean, especially when his dad played for the Falcons for like maybe 2 to 3 years, man. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that,
Um, you gotta be kidding me. I mean,
yeah. David said, "I don't want to beat the Browns. Perhaps they are still looking for their quarterback, but we have a quarterback. We're not the Browns. The problem with our team is, I see us as the 19 late 80s, early 19 late 80s, 90s Miami Dolphins. You got a good quarterback, but you can't. You refuse to get this man any help. That's
man,
what the Dolphins had. The Dolphins had Dan Marino, but they refused to get his man the defense. They get his man the run game, which he retired without winning a ring.
man, he's saying he don't want to be the Browns, but they got Baker Mayfield and Kevin Skinasky right now, who is I think he's the head coach. He's been doing a fantastic job right now in Cleveland, and as of right now, Cleveland has a winning record.
Yep.
So I mean,
He's up for coach of the he's up
he's
for the
up
coach of the
for
year
the year.
candidate as well.
So I mean, at the end of the day, hey, I would kind of want to be the Browns right now because they actually have a winning record. They're actually going to the playoffs.
Yep. And the fans don't understand how the salary cap works with players. All they want to do is cut or trade players that they don't like. You're right about that. It's like I tell people, they think it's a video game. You think you trade somebody, that money going with them. No, you have to pay them. You have to pay them. It's just like, say for instance, you on a salary or whatever, and your job just lay off somebody. Well, they gotta give you a severance pay. They can't just send you on your way like that. And David, I agree with you on this. The defense has been small. This is why we've been saying that we need, if we go into a 3-4, we need to draft a good big old defensive tackle as a one tech or nose tackle. All right, and have him pretty much shore up that interior on that defensive line so he can eat up 2 or 3 blocks and to
Yeah,
keep our linebackers clean.
I mean, I agree with him on that. I mean, the problem is when you look at the Falcons defense is that they've been too light in the pants for too long. A lot of guys that we've had up front have been undersized, man. And when they're going against guys on the opposing offensive line, and we're talking guys that are 6'4", 6'5", 300 plus, and you trying to rush against that? No, it's gonna be a long day at the office.
Hold on, Travis. I'm about to bring you in, man. All right, there you go.
And again, that
Check
goes
check your
back
message.
to manager, man. That go. I mean, that alone goes back to your general manager. Thomas Mitroff made this team a finesse team because historically the Falcons have always been a defensive oriented team. Always,
Yeah.
always.
Now let's go back to the Matt Ryan wristband playbook. All right.
Okay.
Now, when we had Mike Mularkey here as our OC, Matt Ryan had more of his comeback wins with Mike Mularkey. You start seeing us, start losing close games under a Kyle Shanahan, under a Steve Sarkisian, and under Dirk Cutter. You give this man more autonomy to call the plays. I promise you, we'll win more games. But most importantly, if you give us a defense to stop somebody, then it won't even be an issue of comeback wins. We'll just win games outright.
Mm. No, that's true because at the end of the day, when is the last time defense actually made a stop when the offense goes ahead and they make a play? They get a score, but then the defense goes right on ahead and lets the other team go in for the game-winning touchdown, game-winning field goal. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna blame the QB.
Hey, David, I'm not saying. Look, here's the thing. I'm not convincing myself anything. Okay, you win by having a defense. You win games with a good defense. Defense win championships. Offense sells tickets. If you go back and you look at the episode that we had this past Sunday when we had brought on Reggie Kelly, he is a tight end. All right, a Pro Bowler tight end said to himself. He said the Falcons need a defense. All right, this ain't coming out of my mouth. I'm not trying to push any narrative. This has been the football 101 for years. You have a good defense, you'll win most of the time. And I feel like we have weapons on offense. We just need to get a competent play caller in here. We bring in the competent play caller, and then we can be a top 10 defense. Bro, that spells a Super Bowl berth.
Here's my thing. Like, I understand people may feel like Matt past his prime. He ain't been performing well this year. Whatever the case may be. Here's the problem that I have. If Matt is so out of it, why do you have other fan bases that would love to take him off our hands if it was very much possible? Why, if you feel like a person that's 36 years old that can't do it, why did the Indianapolis Colts just sign Phillip Rivers to a contract? And I know he's probably at 40 or a little bit past 40. Why Tampa Bay signed Brady at the age of 43, 44 years old?
And
Like
why
these
why
guys,
why the Saints keep trailing along Drew Brees?
exactly. Clearly, you can see Breeze ain't got it no more, but they keeping this man. The thing is, the dude like Matt can still perform. You need a defense. I don't understand how folks keep saying that this like is our offense, is our offense. Draft a quarterback, get a quarterback, let him sit. Like, dude, Matt is 36 years old. QB these days can stay to play up to 40 if you build the team around them. Like, just like I said, look at 17 and 18. We were practically writing Aaron Rodgers off. He was starting to get injured. He wasn't playing a whole season anymore. His game wasn't the same. But the minute doggone Matt LaFleur came in and they GM the company started building a team around Rodgers,
Drafting
especially
the
a defense,
defense and
especially
drafting
a
the
defense.
defense.
Exactly. They drafted the defense. Guess what? There was NFC Championship game last year, number 1 seed this year. Yes, you can turn this team around in 2 years if you build it the right way.
And this is what we've been trying to tell people. And David, I get what you're saying, man. Like, look, I don't care, man. I'm glad I'm not running the Falcons. Yeah, I'm not running the Falcons. But shoot, I know my ideas that I've been bringing up. It'll help. It'll help the Falcons. Because what the hell they been damn doing for the past 13 years ain't been working.
Defense for each team is always giving us a first round exit, disappointment, heartbreak. I mean, come on now. Everybody just feels like we need to score all these points. But I'm like, okay. Because I've heard people say, well, because of the talent that we have on offense, we can score 35 points a game.
It doesn't work like that. Listen, this is why defensive coordinators stay up all night planning and watching tape to stop that. This is why there's such things called as defensive rankings. Okay, if you rank top 10 or top 15, you rank for a reason. Because no one is scoring on their defense. No one. You're not running the ball against them. You're not throwing the ball. You're not getting that many yards in the air against that team.
Thomas
Just because you got a
Dimitrov,
Julio Jones or Matt Ryan or a Todd Gurley doesn't mean that, we should just be able to go out there and score 40 points every game. It doesn't work like that, you guys. There's talent on other teams too that can stop a Matt Ryan, that can stop a Julio Jones, that can stop a Todd Gurley, that can stop a Calvin Ridley.
See that's what I'm saying. The culture of this franchise has been paraded by scoring a boatload of points. That is not possible. Like, hey, if you look at it this year, Kansas City ain't even been doing that. They've had games where their offense looked very pedestrian.
Hold on,
Like,
David, why you don't want to? Why he said? I hope the new regime would not chase another DN in the first round. Why not? Why you don't want a defensive end?
Well, we don't.
You don't want a guy that's a surefire pass rush. Here's my thing: if we pick a top 5 and say of the said quarterbacks that people been raving over go before them, why would you take it? There's a reason why we have BPA, which for a lot of people don't understand, is called best player available. Why would you draft a quarterback when the best best QBs are already off the board? Why would you do that?
Doesn't make sense.
So if the best quote unquote QBs are already off the board, then you take the next best thing. So if you're telling me that the best QBs already off the board, but I got the best defensive end coming out in the draft, why not draft that defensive end? We need one as it is.
Like, I
Here's
mean,
my
think
thing.
about
He said he's not saying you don't see the decline in arm strength with Matt. Wow. Last time I checked, when that touchdown pass that he gave to Hayden Hurst on Sunday, hey, he threw a laser.
Ain't no decline. Ain't no decline, no line, no arm strength. Even the deep ball pass to Kevin Ridley wasn't no decline on arm strength. Ridley just didn't fight for the football.
it.
He didn't come back to the football. That's not that's not decline on no arm strength.
That's just a receiver not doing their job, not attacking the football.
3-4 would be a terrible move for this organization. I don't think so because you already got Marlon Davidson and Grady Jarrett here. You just need to just get you a big boy get you a big defensive tackle as a nose guard.
I was just about to say that. You're about to say you got Davidson and Jarrett play the doggone tackles. I mean, yeah, the ends.
Yep.
Like because you're Grady already has a decent pass rush it is, and he's a good run defender. The biggest problem about Grady is he's small to be on the outside, and if they decide to double team him, that could be an issue. But that's what you have to scheme for that. But Grady is very good at splitting double teams, so if he could do that in the middle against the center and the guard, I'm pretty sure he could do it against a tackle and a guard.
Yeah, you have both of them play 4-eye, and then you get your nose tackle. That's what I do.
That's the main thing. You just need a bigger body in the middle. You need somebody that's about 6'5", weighing 320 or better. That's it. That commands double teams. Because truth be told, you already got one outside linebacker in doggone Foye Olakun in the 3-4 defense. Really, truly, Foye can play. He's interchangeable. He can play the inside. He can play the inside and the outside.
Exactly. That's not true historically. They started off that way, but it morphed into an offensive organization. Started with the dope of the run and shoot. Even back when we had our first Super Bowl run in '98, we were still a defensive minded. We was a defensive.
We were number 4 that year. We were 4th in defense that year.
We were top 5 in 02.
We always been a defensive team. That's been our identity. We slowly moved away from that when we drafted Vic. And then when we definitely
I wouldn't even say that though, because we were still kind of like a defensive team when we drafted Vic. Yeah, so we were still top. We were still like one of the better defenses in the league.
Yeah, but when we definitely moved away from it, because you started seeing the draft picks, how they were. You drafted Jenkins, you drafted Roddy White. You go into we drafted Jamal Anderson in 07, I believe. But you bring in Thomas and Dimitrov, and that's when the identity of the team just really showed this. Boom, we're offense. We're offensive minded. We're offensive juggernaut now. And now you're saying this is not hate for Matt Ryan. Please don't associate me with that. You keep missing the point. No one said that you hate Matt Ryan.
I never said you hate it.
But the point that you're making is invalid. Like, why would you want to draft a quarterback in the first round and have him sit 2 years or year or 2 years behind Matt Ryan, and you know the other side of the ball is struggling even worse in your offense? And then you're paying that quarterback between what, 12 to 17 mil a year just to sit on the bench? That doesn't make any sense, man.
People look at Kansas City and they see the team like, well, when they put Patrick Mahomes in, you see what happened for them. But y'all forgetting, but Kansas City been making the postseason. They was making the postseason. That lets you know that their team was already completed. They just needed a quarterback to get them over the hump. Voila, Patrick Mahomes fell in their lap. It's simple math. Like, they was already making the postseason. They had the receiving core. They had the defense. They just needed a quarterback. Yeah, for the Falcons, we got the quarterback. For the Falcons, we got the quarterback. We just ain't got the defense. Or the running.
They were making playoffs every year before Pat Mahomes got there. It's just when they got in the playoffs, they only could go so far with Alex Smith. So that's why they drafted Pat Mahomes.
That team was already complete. Quarterback was their missing link. We have way more holes than that. We got to get a coaching staff, and we got to build a competent defense, especially in that front. On that front, that front is abysmal. Just have to call it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They can't consistently stop the run, and they definitely can't get after the pass. I mean, after the quarterback.
And that's
Oh,
been the
that,
Falcons' biggest issue, man. Because think about it, you drafted two DEs in the first round that were essentially number twos, man. You never drafted a true blue number one pass rusher, and that has been the issue. Because I mean, Chuck said this 15 years ago. What is the three highest paid positions in the NFL? The quarterback, the one who protects the quarterback, the one who the one who goes at the quarterback, which is the pass rusher. Those are the three highest paid positions in the NFL.
in the Super Bowl year, their identity was run the football and keep the defense off the field. Dan knew the defense was weak. Yeah, but at the same time, we got to stop giving our defense a pass and stop just sweeping it on the rug. And like, this is what we want. We want Matt Ryan and his offense to score 80 points a game, and and the defense just do enough just to make a stop and pray
It
they
just
make a stop.
doesn't make sense, man. It
Go ahead,
don't,
LaTravis.
man.
Yeah,
Like,
let me say this because what he just said, he was like they ran the football because Dan Quinn knew the defense was weak. This dude he got the job because he was the DC of the Legion of Boom. So you, as a defensive minded coach, was supposed to be the reason why the defense is supposed to improve. If you knew the defense was weak and it continued to be weak under your watch, what does that say about our coaching staff?
Trash. And this is why I said that Dan Quinn was never proven. You look at a guy like Sherman McDermott, the head coach at Buffalo. He came from Carolina as a DC. Look what he did to Buffalo. Built them a defense. Hired a good coaching staff. Hired him an OC that will develop Josh Allen, which he did. And they pretty much in the playoffs. Potentially should go deep in the playoffs this year. With the Falcons, we did the same thing. We not drafted. We brought in Dan Quinn. He built the coaching staff pretty much after the second season after that Super Bowl run. None of those guys were here anymore.
I mean, plus to go back to the 2016 season, when you go back and look at that team, man, yeah, we had a historic offense, but our defense was 27th in the league that year, man. You're
Y'all
not
do realize
winning. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say people do realize that we literally broke the NFL record about winning the most games in a season with our defense giving up 28 points. That is not a record to
That
be having.
that is not good at all. That's terrible because even
David just
before that
said,
Super Bowl,
guys, he said hypothetically, find us some money to build a defense that season that can win at a high level. Once again, if you draft well, you get you some more pieces on the defense. You get some playmakers that can come in, not make all Pro Bowl or rookie of the year, but just serviceable enough to start. All right. But the ultimate thing is you bring in a coach who can develop these players. You bring in a
Let me
coach
say this
who can
too.
put these guys in the best position to succeed. We never had that coaching staff. We haven't had that coaching staff like
uh-uh.
that since a Dan Reeves back in the day. Dan Reeves
Let
and
me
Wade Phillips.
let me say this because like you brought up Dan Reeves and Wade Phillips. Like people do realize because he said like let's see if we can build a defense that get like I guess you looking for superstars. When you look at that O2 defense, that team went that they didn't have no superstar. Like
Uh-uh.
Keith Brooks was very known. He made second team all pro that year. And yeah, I think Patrick Kearney had a good season. I don't even think Patrick Kearney even got voted to the Pro Bowl that season. But he had a
Terrible.
damn good season. But that defense in totality was good. They was great. It was a top five unit, but they wasn't no all pros and pro bowlers, like full of them. They just played well collectively. That's what you need. They need to play well
Mhm.
collectively.
And Wade Phillips put those guys in position to make plays. I mean, the problem is we just had coaching staff that didn't put our players in position to make plays. And at the end result was we got sent home early or we took a loss.
Trust me, Brady Smith wasn't no all pro player. Matt Stewart wasn't no all pro player. Ed Jasper, Ellis Johnson, none of those guys. But they played well collectively.
All right. More of the story for this show, you guys. Let's get Matt Ryan, the OC, who's going to give him a wristband playbook.
Please. It is a
That's what we
crime
need to
thing
be
for a
talking
man to
about.
be playing 13 years and he ain't got it. He don't have a wristband, and it's even worse that a coordinator that was here that was here before that had him use a wristband at one point had him quit using the wristband. That makes no sense.
It don't. And he's only had a quarterback wristband for only 3 years out of his 13-year career. And we all know that Matt is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he had one of the highest scores on the Wonderlic test. And you mean to tell me you're not going to allow this man to at least take control of the offense, at least have that wristband on him, so that way you can
That test
execute
you
the plays
mentioned,
when
Matt. I think Matt had the highest score since what, Peyton?
mm-hmm,
That
pretty
should tell
much.
you what that should tell you what it is. Truth be told, I'm gonna say this about Matt, and I'll really hold at Falcon fans heed to what I'm saying. Matt has truly overachieved with what this franchise has given him. To be honest, yes, you could talk about all the weapons and all that good stuff, but let's be honest here. The only person that you can really give credit, the only two people that you really give credit to, is really Tony Gonzalez because he was already established, and Julio Jones. I like Roddy. Roddy was a great wide receiver, but we was almost calling that man a bust before Matt got here. And then when Matt got here, he became the third best receiver in the NFL behind Andre Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. We never gave that man a defense. The rushing attack was pretty good. I love me some Turner. I love the way how he just pounded the rock down people's throat. But by his fifth year being here, he had been wore out because we was averaging over 300 yards, 300 carries a season. So like, and since then we have never truly did what we need to do. Now everybody, like I said, go back to those weapons. Okay, you had people like Harry Douglas, who's now out the league, and he got drafted the same year as Matt Ryan. You had people like like let's see what Muhammad Sanu, who's been cut twice prior to him since he been gone from Atlanta.
Michael Jenkins.
Um, Michael Jenkins, who like had his best statistical season in his career came with Matt Ryan's rookie year. You had people like Darius Johnson catching passes. You had people like Taylor Gabriel, who has Taylor Gabriel even signed to another team this year since he got cut by Chicago. He got a
Yeah,
whole contract, and I have not heard from that man since.
I heard he opted out, but I could be wrong. But
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that go in there. A lot of people talk about Matt Ryan and all these weapons, but a lot of these cats do not be good when they leave here.
Look at Austin Hooper.
Trash season up there in Cleveland, and Cleveland got a winning record.
They got a winning record.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you have to give Matt more credit than what people are giving him. People make it seem like, oh, he's been surrounded with all this talent, but if you look at majority of all that talent that leave him, they don't do well. It's Matt. Same with the OCs. Malarkey left, got a head coach in Jacksonville. Thank you, Matt.
And
Cutter left the
Tennessee.
first time. Yeah, in Tennessee. Cutter left the first time and got a head coaching job in doggone Tampa. Thank you, Matt. Shanahan left and got a head coaching job in San Francisco. Thank you, Matt. Steve Sarkisian was on the way out the door to be a head coach. That's Matt Ryan, bro.
shit,
Nobody but Matt.
Hell, Matt LaFleur got another job with Tennessee, and then he got a head coaching job up in Green Bay now, where at one point they had the number one scoring offense in Green Bay, number one. But this is the same Matt LaFleur that Dan Quinn let go and said that he wasn't, quote unquote, qualified for the job.
And can we start the narrative that Shanahan, quote unquote, had made Matt and he the reason why Matt had an MVP season? That's false. Because for some odd reason, people think that Shanahan was only here 1 year. He was here 2 years. Matt, and subsequently, Matt, quote unquote, best season in his career came right after him having his worst season in his career. And guess who was the offensive coordinator? Shanahan. If Shanahan was so great, why he didn't get a head coach? Why nobody want to offer him a head coach job after Houston, after Washington, after Cleveland? Nobody even knocking at his door. But as soon as Matt Ryan had an MVP season, guess who come calling? Thank you, Matt.
Here's the thing, all right, and I ain't trying to change the subject. Somebody was talking about Arthur Smith today about not being a good OC because he got Derrick Henry. All right. So here's the thing. Why did Tennessee's offense get better when Mike LaFleur left for Green Bay? If Arthur Smith is not a good OC, why did their offense got better when they lost their OC and Matt LaFleur when he left for Green Bay? Ryan Tannehill looked better than what he did in Miami.
I ain't gonna lie. Tannehill look way better than what he ever looked like in Miami.
So I know a guy that tried to debate with me on Twitter today about this situation, and I'm like, Arthur Smith is a good candidate for a head coach. Now I'm not saying this is my first choice because everybody on here knows my first choice is head coach, but don't sit here and just say this man is trash because of Derrick Henry. Yes, Derrick Henry pretty much the offense does run through Derrick Henry in Tennessee, but
that kind of hold up because if people saying that, then that kind of if those are the same folks that are Eric Bieniemy fans, then that kills their own argument because Bieniemy only good because of
Pat
kind of
Mahomes.
Mahomes and him being a running back coach, and look at all the running backs that he coached: Maurice Jones-Drews in college, Adrian Peterson, Jamal Charles, Kareem Hunt, Damian Williams, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and now and Le'Veon Bell. Like, come on, bro. And now as an OC, you got Patrick Mahomes, which you're not even calling the plays. Andy Reid is. So if you saying that Arthur Smith is not good, then you pretty much debunked your argument for Eric Bieniemy.
Well, no, he didn't like Eric Bieniemy. He said he likes Brian Dapple from Buffalo, which is good.
That's a good pick.
But I like Brian Dapple as well.
Anybody make Josh Allen the Pro Bowler, then you can't afford him.
Exactly. Now the issue I'm looking at is they're a pass heavy team. And the issue I'm having with that is he has to bring him a coordinator in who wants to run the ball. So, which I'm pretty sure he will make. He's been around 2 Hall of Fame head coaches, so I'm pretty sure he'll if he gets hired as a head coach, he will hire somebody who's more of a run first type of OC.
Yeah. Because we have as of right now, we still have an OC that essentially just chucks the ball all over the place. The offense that we're running is essentially a 95% passing offense, and you can't win that way. Hell,
not at all.
Look what happened with Tampa Bay when your quarterback is 39. I think it was 39 for 46. 356, 3 touchdowns and no picks, and you only give Todd Gurley 1 carry, 1. Ito Smith 6 carries. And
this man has literally dismantled Todd Gurley's career, man.
Oh yeah, he ruined it.
Like you gonna sit up here and you gonna tell me you do not know how to use Todd Gurley? You got to be freaking kidding me! You sit up here saying that Ito Smith is your primary running back.
Oh, but that's the funny thing. You're saying
but Travis, you can't hear nothing you saying, man.
You're saying that Ito's a starting running back, but you have Quadri Allison that has been inactive all season, and he's a big body running back, and you're not using him.
You're not using him.
But that's what I'm saying. With Ito, you telling me that this man here, like, I like Ito, and this ain't no diss to him, but you telling me that this guy is our leading back? Ito Smith is our leading back over Todd Gurley. Like this, if you told somebody this, if you told anybody this, and without them knowing the sport, or if they just do the players, they'd be looking like, how to where Ito Smith became the starter over Todd Gurley. That goes to show you how bad our offensive coordinator is.
Yeah. Or just coaching overall, man. Because come on now, for someone that like Raheem Morris that is trying to get this job, even though we all know he's not getting it. Like, you're not going to check your offensive coordinator saying like, yo, we're making Ito the starter. But we have Quadri Allison that's been on the inactive list for damn near the whole season, and we're not going to use him. As always, man, coaching matters in this league. It will always matter in this league. When you have bad coaches, you ain't winning. You don't have a defense, you ain't winning.
It's even more wild because look at this past Sunday's loss. Seeing a beat writer, he's legit because he has a check mark by his name on Twitter. But a beat writer for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers mentioned about Brady not playing good football or whatever, something like that. And the fan was like, "I just seen this tweet, but are you saying that Brady is trash?" He was like, he said, "Did you not? Are we not watching the same game?" His response to him was, the Buccaneers got bailed out because Atlanta's coaching staff did not keep the pressure on defense, and Dirk Cutter being an idiot. But congratulations on the win." And that's from a beat writer from the Buccaneers.
They know about Dirk Cutter, man. This is why they ran this man out of town. And I do put some blame, some, not all. I put some blame on Dirk Cutter for not developing crab legs, James Winston.
The
fact that Matt only has 11 picks on the season speak volumes on Matt. Because Matt should have way more picks than what he has.
I mean, because the very last year before Dirk was fired from Tampa Bay, I mean, he made James Winston the first and only member of the 30-30 club, man.
No, Cutter was already here.
Yeah, Cutter was here. That was last year.
No. But I'm just saying, but for you to make one quarterback a member of a club that nobody else would join, the 30-30 club.
What we saying is Cutter was here last year when Crablehead did that. He wasn't the OC there.
Yeah, he was the OC last in 2018. But even then, he was still throwing picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
So
30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Man, oh my God, that.
But like you said, like literally a bunch of Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans said Sunday they was all right with the win, but it was like they was like the only reason why we won because Cutter was an idiot. Like he did not run the football, which is the reason why we would have to get rid of him.
Because they had Doug Martin as a running back, and they didn't
right.
use it, man. And not only that, yeah, they drafted OJ Howard. Didn't even use the guy.
Didn't use him.
They drafted this man in the first round, and you didn't utilize this man.
Is he even on the team?
That's not. I know he's still there, but still, like they never used this guy. This is why I say he never used his tight ends. He never used his running backs. Yeah, he used his tight end. The only tight end he used well was Tony Gonzalez. You had to use Tony Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when he was in Tampa Bay, I mean, the only tight end that he ever used up there was Cameron Brate. That was about it. But you had a surefire tight end and O.J. Howard, and just like he was just there. Like you didn't use him.
But yeah, he don't want to use Austin. I'm not Austin. Well, you want to use Hayden Hurst, but be calling up plays for doggone Luke Stalker. They don't.
Oh yeah, man. God. Oh my God. Oh.
I ain't never, as long as he was in Tampa, I ain't never seen him run a 3 tight end set like that. But he get to Atlanta, he run a 3 tight end sets.
Mm-hmm. Shit. When's the last time he used Jaden Graham, man? Like Jaden Graham, I haven't heard his name at all this season. Not one time.
This is ridiculous overall. Straight ridiculous. Hayden Hurst should have been getting ready to be voted up in the Pro Bowl this year. That's how much talent that man has. But instead, he's not. He's been underutilized.
Hey, you stay with laughing right with you, dog. It's hilarious, man. I mean, you have all this talent and you're not utilizing it. We have an offensive coordinator that's it's like he's living in the 1990s, man. Like he's like this is like 1995, and we're just gonna continue to throw the ball everywhere and not run the ball. I mean, but hey, I'm
even back then, because defenses were more aggressive. If we would have played this type of style of offense back in the mid-90s, Oof.
Oh no. Ooh, yeah.
They was aggressive. They could push off and do all that back in the day.
That's a fact.
All right, let's go ahead. Hey y'all, appreciate y'all joining the chat. Two of my hometown supporters, appreciate y'all coming on. Once again, let everybody know who y'all are.
Oh.
But you know me, man. You know the Travis LT. Y'all know me. Been seeing me. Some of y'all don't follow me on Twitter. If you don't, go ahead and shoot the follow button at wordplay_kid26.
All right.
You guys can catch me on Facebook. My name is Rashawn Chapman. You know, I'm just your average Falcon fan that loves to talk Falcons football. I'm passionate about this team. I'm just hoping with this new general manager and head coach that we can finally start winning again, man, and hopefully get a Super Bowl, man, because I can tell you, the comments I get from other teams, the other, fans from other teams, man, when they won that first Super Bowl, man, that's the one thing that they'll never forget. Because I've had, conversations and I've said to people, I wouldn't care if the Falcons had consecutive Super Bowls or won consecutive Super Bowls. As a fan, you will never, ever, ever forget that first Super Bowl. You never forget it. Because the ones after that don't even matter. It's always that first one that you always remember.
All right. Appreciate y'all coming on. Everybody watching live, appreciate y'all watching live on this Christmas Eve edition of the Don's Favor. Hey, I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to go play Santa Claus for my nieces and nephews. I ain't giving out no gifts. I'm broke. I'm gonna get them some Krispy Kreme donuts. So hey. So, but anyway.
Hey man, hey, with the way the cost of living is, how these prices is, but it's hard to be selling these days. But hey, bro, started telling your kids, they be like, "What you got? What Santa brought me? Oh boy, you hit that light switch over there. That's what he got you for Christmas, son."
You got lights. You got a warm meal every day. 3 warm meals every day.
You got clothes on your back. You got a roof over your head. Boy, I'm talking about Merry Christmas, kid. Merry Christmas.
That's all you need. Most importantly, I still got a job to pay for all this.
Exactly. Because I'm telling you about how this doggone, how this panorama going around here, boy. It's ridiculous.
Oh, so you better have a holly jolly Christmas and a happy New Year, okay? You better take that. Take that to the bank.
All right, you guys. Well, we about to sign on off. Y'all have a great Christmas, a happy holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I ain't trying to offend anybody.
Right.
Beliefs or anything like that. But y'all enjoy it. This is another episode of the Dun's Favorite. It's your boy the Dun. Y'all have a happy holidays. We'll see you guys Sunday. Be good. Be easy.
All right. Y'all stay safe.